又係我大聲 Joseph 啦。今日咧邀請咗位朋友加拿大嘅朋友咧就又同大家傾下偈喎，即係了解下加拿大咧嘅一啲嘅工作經驗啦，同埋佢好特別嘅，佢而家手頭上即係都係做緊一啲嘅好特別嘅叫做 project 啦。咁好，首先我哋歡迎咧就係Edward。Welcome Edward. Hello.
Thank you. Hello, Joseph.
Yeah, welcome you to here. We can have a talk about some of your story, amazing story. 咁咧就
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Welcome. 咁咧就我先同大家介紹下先啦。Edward 咧就係加拿大人啦。So you born in Canada, are you?
Yes, I was born about an hour north of Toronto.
Okay.
On a farm, big farm.
Okay. 咁咧就Ed 咧就係喺加拿大長大嘅，咁就喺多倫多北邊嘅一個地方嗰度長大啦，咁樣。So Ed, can you tell me about your what is your professional for your previous time?
Okay. So as I said, I grew up on a farm, but I've always interested in technology, televisions, radios, and when I was young, in high school, computers came out. So I got very interested in computers.
Right.
And in high school, I learned that University of Waterloo had a really good computer program, actually the best one in Canada at that time. I applied to go to university.
Wow.
I applied to go to University of Waterloo, and I went there from 1981 till 86, and I graduated with a degree in mathematics, specialized in computer science, with a minor in a field of mathematics called combinatorics and optimization. While I was at school, I worked for different companies on work terms, and one of them was IBM Canada. So I got offered a job with IBM Canada, and I started working with them in 1986. And I stayed with that company until 2015. So 28 years.
Okay.
With IBM.
Let me interpret. OK， 咁咧Ed 咧就佢頭先講咧就話佢童年嘅時候咧就已經好中意關於啲一啲電子嘅嘢，收音機即係同電子有關嘅嘢。咁佢喺度成長嘅時候咧，咁就當佢進入大學嘅時候咧，咁佢就進入咗一間咧，就喺加拿大啦，就好出名嘅。我諗即係應該係 number one 嘅喺咩咧？喺呢個電腦，即係 computer science， 即係喺呢個電腦嘅研發或者係程式嗰方面係即係加拿大都數一數二㗎啦嚇。咁嗰間大學叫做 Waterloo， 就係滑鐵盧大學嚇。咁即係其實我知，據我所知，好多美國譬如上太空嗰啲程式咧，好多都係喺 Waterloo 呢間大學出嚟嗰啲學生去寫嘅。咁Ed 咧就當其時，咁佢就喺 Waterloo 嗰度主修咧就係呢個電腦嘅，咁副修咧係數學嘅。咁佢咧就咁後期咧，因為佢喺Waterloo 呢間大學咧，佢係有一個叫做co-op 嘅 program 啊。咁佢哋就可以喺讀書嘅時候咧，就已經可以去一啲公司度實習㗎。咁而佢當時咧就係進入咗 IBM, right? So for those time you had a chance to work in IBM. 咁佢係喺呢個 IBM 入邊就即係叫做做啦，咁有機會。咁之後佢就畢咗業之後咧，咁佢就進入咗 IBM 入邊工作啦。So can you share about your working experience over in IBM? So only one company you work for?
Yes, I work in the IBM Toronto lab, in the laboratory. That's where we do a lot of the research. It was the only research facility that IBM had in Canada at the time. So even though it was only one company and only one location, I had a variety of different jobs. I got to move around to different jobs within the same company.
Oh, I see.
So I worked on the mainframe systems. I worked on mid-size systems. I worked on the first client server system that IBM had. I worked on the first release of the AS400, which is a mid-range computer system.
Wow.
Lots of different programming environments. I worked on WebSphere, which was the first web-based product that IBM had for buying and selling over the internet, for e-commerce work. I worked on Visual Age for C and C++, the compilers, the C and C++ language. I worked on Visual Age for Java, so the Java language as well, and the integrated development environments for those. Lots of stuff.
Wow. Lots of history. You mentioned about like in this computer like programming or computer development. 咁咧就阿 Ed 頭先都講啦，咁佢喺IBM 入邊咧，因為喺 IBM 入邊佢主要咧就係喺 IBM 入邊呢個一個叫做叫做發展科研啊，應該係科研嚇嗰方面嘅，咁所以佢雖然喺一間公司咧，但係可能喺好多唔同嘅部門，因為 IBM 主要係佢除咗電腦方面咧，可能好多軟件啊、系統啊，咁我哋頭先佢都提過有一個叫 AS400，right？ You mention。哇！呢個 AS400咧就即係都好多如果即係喺早年啦，即係講緊可能十幾20年前都好流行嘅，呢啲係好大系統嚟嘅。即係如果你公司係好大型啊，銀行啊或者咩處理一啲好多 data 嘅，咁咧就好熟悉呢個系統啊。咁當然而家可能已經唔知消失咗未咁所以咧就佢喺即係喺電腦呢個行頭咧都好耐。So so you always been a programmer all the time?
Yeah.
Is it? Right?
Well, in the first half of my career, the first 14 years, I was a programmer and a team lead of different programming teams. Many of those were development teams, a couple support teams, a couple teams that were programmers, but we programmed stuff for IBM, not for IBM to sell, to use internally inside the company. Internally, yeah. And then the last half, the second 14 years, I was a manager of different teams, different programming teams, test team, release team, different teams, yeah.
I see. 咁Ed 咧就其實佢喺 IBM 嗰個工作咧可以分開兩段嘅。咁頭一段年月咧，咁佢就係主要都係做一啲嘅即係程式嘅設計嘅工作啦。咁佢就喺就會設計好多軟件程式咧，就俾翻 IBM 自己內部用嘅。咁而佢咧就另外一半咧。就係做一個管理，即係主要係管理階層嘅。咁佢管理下邊唔同好多 team 啦，好多嘅嘅部門啦。So you manage the teams is related to programming, right?
A couple programming teams. I manage a team for level 2 support. So when customers have problems with our database product, DB2, we were second level support. I managed a release team. So the release team is responsible for taking a product and how to sell it to customers, how to market, those kinds of issues, fixing defects. Yeah.
I see.
So yeah, a couple different but a lot of development. Yeah.
咁Ed 咧，除咗即係管理一啲嘅負責程式設計嘅部門之外咧，仲有會一啲叫做顧客服務啊。嗰方面各方面嘅可能有一啲嘅發展啊，佢都即係發展部門啊，佢都有去負責去管理嘅。Wow! So at that time you were like pretty high level over in IBM, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that. If you look at all the levels in IBM, there is still more above me than there was below me.
Oh, right. Because IBM is such a big company, right? Worldwide company.
Yeah, they had 400,000 employees when I left. It was a big company, yes.
Wow, 400,000 over the world, right? Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see. Wow. 咁阿 Ed 都講佢話，即係其實喺 IBM 咁大嘅個機構啦，咁佢話其實佢都係只不過可能係當中一個部門主管啦咁樣。咁其實即係 IBM 喺佢離開 IBM 嘅時候咧，都有成40萬人啊，即係嘅員工。咁當然係全球啦，你講啦。So wow, you I mean in I think in this field, computer field, you had a pretty good experience and well known in this industry, and yeah, and I saw your background picture. Are those your is this your family, right?
Yeah, that's my wife Nancy and my daughter Lindsay, my younger son Matthew, and on the other side, this side, this side,
okay,
my older son,
yeah, right.
Robert.
Oh, right. So 3 kids, but
Three kids, yeah.
They are growing up already, right?
Yeah. So now, where is it? This one, Lindsay, my youngest, she's 25.
Oh,
and
wow.
Matthew's 28.
Wow.
And Robert is 30 years old.
Wow. 30.
So yeah, they're growing up now.
Oh, pretty nice.
And my oldest,
yeah.
My oldest son Robert followed in my footsteps. He's a programmer now for Shopify.
Wow. Wow. Like father, like son 啊。哇！阿 Ed 即係大家而家喺熒幕後邊睇到阿 Ed 佢後邊咧就原來係佢嘅家庭啦。咁佢有2個兒子1個仔啦。咁而家都大個晒㗎啦。咁而佢嘅大仔都係一個 programmer 嚟嘅喎。咁即係似老豆啦。咁就係 Okay, so Ed, we would like ask you because you have so many working experience over in Canada and you've been to managerial grade and what do you think about for graduated student to look for a job over here? Do you have any advice or tips like that?
Yeah, I would say the job opportunities in Canada for programmers is still really, really good. It's a very good marketplace.
Oh, yeah?
There are a lot of programming jobs, right? Especially if you have university degrees. If you have a college degree, it's harder. But if you have a university degree in computer science, there are lots of good opportunities still. I remember 15 years ago when my oldest son was considering going into computer science, into programming. Some of our friends who are all in computers at my age, they all said, don't do it. All the jobs are leaving Canada. Don't do it. All the jobs are leaving Canada. Computers are going to be programming themselves. But that never happened. There's just more and more jobs all the time.
Oh, yeah,
more
right.
and more technology.
Yeah, even
so it's still a very, very great opportunity.
True. 咁Ed 頭先講啦，佢話關於即係我問佢啦如果即係對於一啲年青人嚟講咧，或者一啲大學生啊，咁佢哋如果想喺加拿大揾工作啊，咁有啲咩意見咧？咁佢就講翻即係如果係電腦嗰方面啊，咁其實加拿大都係好大需求嘅。咁同埋咧就話即係如果最好啦、最理想咧就係有一個大學嘅嘅畢業生啦，即係尤其是喺電腦方面啦。咁佢即係頭先講啦，佢話 之前佢個大仔啦，咁當時讀大學嘅時候，究竟選唔選翻讀電腦咧？咁佢自己同埋佢好多嘅即係叫同行啦，當其時已經做緊電腦嗰啲咧，佢哋都話唔好啊，唔好進入呢個電腦行業啊，因為將來電腦呢個工作都會喺加拿大都冇㗎啦，同埋電腦會自己去研發嘅。咁當然啦，10幾年即係講緊即係十年啦，都呢樣嘢係仲未發生啦。So it's like today people say about robot. So most of the job will replaced by robot, right? Don't you think?
Well, yeah, a lot of jobs are being replaced by robots, but somebody has to build the robots. Somebody has to program the robots. And there's always new industries developing, new technology in farming equipment is more and more operated by computers. And every industry, there's more and more computers. And somebody has to program all those computers. So there's all kinds of opportunities. Telecommunication, satellites, self-driving cars. They need very complicated computers programming so they don't crash and stuff like that, right? So yeah, there are lots of opportunities still.
True, right. 咁頭先講啦，即係問下佢話，喂，而家話嗰個機械人啦，即係咁 hit 啦，即係而家講緊好多都即係又話即係好多智能嘅嘢啊，即係哇會唔會呢啲咁嘅機械人會取代我哋人類嘅工作咧？咁佢即係阿 Ed 都話，佢話因為即係機械人都係人做嘅啫，咁同埋好多嘢可能都係要用人嘅思想去設計啊，或者乜嘢，咁睇到都即係個趨勢係有嘅，咁但係就會唔會導致到人係會冇晒工作咧？咁可能都未必會啦。Yeah, so I totally agree with you. So let's go to like what are you doing now? Yeah, this is quite interesting. Before like when I first know you, when you tell me your project, actually for me is wow. Wow. Are you sure like that? Also, let me interpret. OK， 咁而家咧，我哋就想咧同阿 Ed 咧傾下佢而家搞緊啲咩咧，因為佢已經係即係叫做離開咗 IBM 啦，咁佢就想即係去做一啲佢自己想做嘅事業。咁當我認識佢嘅時候咧，咁佢同我講話佢而家做緊嘅嘢咧，我覺得哇，我覺得有啲即係想像唔到啊嚇！咁因為都幾大嘅呢樣嘢，咁係啊，咁當然當時佢都有邀請過我參與喺當中啦，咁所以點解我而家都會同佢有合作啊咁樣咯。So OK, it's your time. It's your show. Tell me about your project.
So I retired from IBM in 2015, which is early retirement. I'm not that old yet, but I retired because in 2002, I had this idea, this vision, you might call it. I love science. I have a degree in computer science, but I love physics. I love astronomy, geography, a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of biology. I hear so much about evolution and how everything just happened. And it just doesn't make sense from a science point of view. So I had this idea in 2002, and finally, and I worked on it part-time until 2015. And that's when I retired to start doing my project full-time.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you that in a minute if you want to interpret it first.
Yeah, OK. 咁咧，阿 Ed 咧就佢話佢，因為佢本身咧就即係對科學咧係好有興趣啦。咁佢自己又即係做呢個電腦啦，咁同埋佢另外佢對即係好多嘅天文學啊，嗰個叫physics 啊，即係好多嘅對於科學咧都係覺得好奇妙嘅。咁但係 當中佢亦都覺得哇，即係呢啲創造呢一切嘅嘢咧，佢哇，即係實在太玄妙啊！我可以講話。咁所以導致佢咧，佢喺2015年咧，咁佢就決定退休啦，離開嗰個 IBM，咁就去開展佢一個新嘅旅程啦。因為佢有一個理想啦，咁可能佢可能適合嘅時候，而家開始啦。OK，yep. So
I retired because I want to start and share about science and share that there's an alternative to evolution. I believe that there's a God and that God created everything. I also believe from the studies that I've done in science, different fields of science, that evidence points to the fact we did not evolve, that we were created in some way. So what I want to do is I started a charitable organization called the Museum of Natural Science and History. And what we want to do is build a Noah's Ark, kind of a symbol, basically a science center to show from different fields of science the evidence that we did not evolve, that things are just too precise, too exact, that it couldn't possibly have happened by chance. So that's what I've been working on ever since.
OK. 咁咧嗱，大家而家即係睇到阿 Ed 嘅佢個畫面啦，咁係咩嚟咧？咁其實咧係一個我哋叫做挪亞方舟嚇，咁大家如果係香港嘅朋友咧就好熟㗎啦。咁而阿 Ed 佢係即係佢嗰個理念係咩咧？咁佢就希望咧係想做一個好似方舟咁樣嘅博物館。咁而呢個博物館咧，或者係一個科學館啦。咁而呢個博物館咧，就係入邊咧係有關好多關於係創造啊或者科學嘅嘢。因為咧佢覺得咧係喺即係喺呢個人類歷史入邊啦，佢覺得就係話好多科學入邊嘅嘢咧都係好精準嘅，好精準嘅。咁就即係佢覺得係你話如果係喺一個純粹係一個好叫做偶發地幾樣嘢走埋一齊，跟住變咗樣實物咧，咁其實呢個難度係好難。咁對於佢頭先講，佢話即係所以佢覺得係有一個當然可能佢嘅宗教問題啦。咁佢會覺得係有個創造者、創造主創造萬物嘅。咁當然而喺創造呢啲萬物當中咧，其實好神奇嘅，因為即係每樣嘢都有佢嘅配合啊，有佢嘅定律啊嗰樣嘢。咁佢就想將呢啲咁嘅知識啦，或者一啲嘅資訊啦，就帶俾大家啦。So wow, you know, I can tell you, you know, for Hong Kong people, it's quite familiar about the law art because we do have I don't know whether it's 1:1 size. But it's a pretty big one over in Hong Kong. Is right across my previous home. Yeah, actually, yeah. I just live quite nearby that long art. So so like, can you talk more about your project?
Yeah. Well, I've seen pictures of the one in Hong Kong, right underneath the bridge.
Yes.
Over towards the airport.
Yes.
Right, yes. So,
yes.
I'd love to visit it someday.
Yeah, right.
I never made it to that part of the world yet. So, but, we were working on building a full-size Noah's Ark in the Science Center. But the last year and a half now, I've been focused more on virtual museum, at least in the short term. So a couple of different ideas. So one is a game. And this is a game showing all the animals. You have to load all the animals into the ark. Basically, this is on your phone or on your computer, and it's a floor plan of the ark. And this here shows you the whole ark, this little window up here. It's a bit bigger down here. And what you have to do is go through different levels. On each level, you have to load animals into the ark. And it tells you how many animals on each level. It tells you what animal you're currently loading. And a scale here tells you how big it is. This scale tells you how fast it is, and how many lives you have left, and how much time you have left to get these animals on and put them in different pens before your time runs out. So you got to go through these levels to get all these animals onto the ark before your time runs out. And get them all in the right size pens. So that's one game. I'll tell you about the other game in a minute.
Yeah, that's very interesting. OK， 咁啊 ，Ed 咧就而家佢即係喺度建構緊佢呢個計劃啦。咁當然即係咁佢第一步咧喺即係叫做去建構嗰個實物，即係呢一個嘅museum， 即係呢個博物館之前咧，咁佢而家咧喺度做緊啲咩咧？咁因為佢係本身都係一個程式員啦，咁最拿手梗係做呢個程式啦，設計程式啦。咁所以變咗咧，佢而家咧就係其實設計緊一個同挪亞方舟有關嘅一個嘅遊戲。咁而呢個遊戲咧，咁佢而家咧就係話咧點樣去即係喺一個方舟入邊啦。咁方舟入邊大家都知道挪亞係會帶好多動物上去呢個方舟嘅。咁而佢呢一個遊戲咧就係關於挪亞點樣帶啲動物唔同嘅動物啦入到呢個方舟，而即係佢可能佢有唔同嘅擺位啊，咁點樣喺一個時間內點樣擺，點樣組織啊咁樣啦。咁當然佢應該就仲未完成嘅。咁如果完成咗咧，應該就係會俾大家知道download 可以落嚟玩下咁樣。So is it the game finished yet?
No, still working on the prototype for it.
Okay.
We're also focused right now on another game. This is a simpler one. And basically this looks at physics and randomness. Can things just happen by random? So in the first screen here, again on your cell phone or your computer, you see all in blue, all these different values in physics. The speed of light, the mass of a proton and electron, all these different things, constants that make our universe work the way it works. And you can adjust the values with this slider. You can adjust them. And then there's another screen, which is a graph to show you all the different constants. And this is just a sample, a subset. There's far more. And then you feed all that into this engine at the bottom here, this screen. And it does a calculation to figure out what is the chance that life could just evolve randomly based on all these constants of physics that you've set.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm working on right now. So I have these two prototypes we're working on.
Two prototypes, working on it. Okay. 咁啊 ，Ed 咧就佢除咗頭先我哋啱啱講嗰個嘅挪亞方舟嗰個遊戲之外咧，咁佢仲有另外一個，即係而家有另外一個遊戲咧，就喺度開發緊啦。咁呢個遊戲係咩咧？係關於一啲物理學上邊嘅一啲嘅實驗啦，類似嚇。咁佢係會你喺個畫面嗰度睇到咧，咁就係有好多即係掣啊，或者係咩，即係會調校一啲可能物理嗰啲嘢嗱，我唔識嘅，因為我中三之後咧就已經冇讀過 science 㗎啦，咁所以嗰啲嘢我都唔係好清楚。咁但係佢就係一個 ，so I can see that is it a 3D game like
yes
3-dimension game?
They're both 3D, yeah.
OK， 咁佢原來呢個遊戲都係一個係3D 嘅遊戲嚟嘅。咁佢當然佢而家即係仍然喺度開發緊、設計緊。OK， so yeah, we are looking forward to play your game, try it. Oh, very interested. So
they're both developed using Unity, which is the same kind of game engine that a lot of movies and online games are made with.
Right. 咁佢而家係用緊一個軟件叫 Unity 啦。咁其實即係我哋都好熟悉㗎啦，差唔多喺呢個行內咧，即係寫手機、寫遊戲啦。嘅遊戲引擎咧，都差唔多係最厲害㗎啦，尤其是喺 3D 嗰方面嘅嚇。So you know this language before? I mean the Unity.
No, I love programming. When I started in high school, I started with BASIC, and then in university, I learned Pascal and Fortran and COBOL, and then C and C++ and Java. I learned all these different languages.
Wow.
And so when I started doing this, I didn't know how Unity works, but I know C and Java, and this is in C#. So C# is easy to learn if you know C or Java. So it was easy to pick up.
Oh, okay, that's good. 咁啊，啱啱問佢咧，即係話，哇，咁其實咁多種唔同嘅，即係喺電腦嗰方面咧，咁多種唔同嘅語言啦，尤其是譬如即係而家呢個 Unity 咧，咁就即係可能同佢以前做嘢用嘅嗰啲嘅程式咧好唔同。咁但係佢都講佢以前即係講緊佢讀書嘅時候學一啲我哋叫 basic 啦，咁跟住再去嘅有唔同嘅程式嘅語言啦，有 C 啊 C++ 啊，咁佢都講話而家即係呢一個咧都係其實電腦程式來去都係嗰扎嘢啊，你一理通百理明嚇，好似係咁講，咁所以變咗都係差唔多嘅嘢。Hey, I just come up a question. I'm wondering, like, if for a student not ever have any idea like experience in programming, do you think they can be a programmer?
If they have the desire and they have a good sense of logic, because programming is all about logic, right?
Yeah.
How to use logic to make flows through programs. So if they have a good sense about logic and a desire to learn, there's so much information on the internet. You can search for examples and you can create a whole game just by following tutorial on the internet. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. 咁啱啱我突然間不發奇想諗起就係話，如果對於一個人年青人嚟講咧，佢完全冇呢個嘅電腦方面嘅培訓或者係知識嘅話，究竟佢能唔能夠可以成為一個程式員咧？咁啱啱問下 Ed， 咁 Ed 就講佢話其實都可以嘅，只要佢係有一個我哋叫邏輯思維啦，即係咁如果你嘅邏輯思維或者亦都係另外一樣嘢就係話你真係好熱誠，有呢個熱誠去學咧，其實而家即係要成為一個程式員咧都唔係好難嘅，因為本身我自己都係程式員啦，咁變咗我都發覺係嘅。而家其實喺即係比我哋嗰個年代係容易好多啊，尤其是而家喺網上邊係有好多關於寫程式嘅一啲嘅知識啊，全部都免費。以前我哋唔係，以前我哋真係要使好多錢或者睇好多書、買好多書啊各樣嘢。咁而家係方便好多，只不過就係話你有冇嘢興趣，有冇熱誠啦同埋你有冇咁嘅邏輯思維啦。Yeah, compare like for our time, if you want to know like study the knowledge of computer, because like in the programming field, there are lots of different type of language, right? For our time, it's pretty hard. Like you may only can learn it from the books or some courses, but compared to now is totally different things, right? You can learn everything.
When I started, there was no internet, so you had to take a book and you had to look through the book and figure out all the stuff.
Exactly.
There were no examples to look at on the internet.
Exactly. And also, you know what? Even like right now, you can like ask question. Over on the internet, right? And those those people are really welcome to answer. Right?
Yeah, and that helped me with the Unity stuff I'm doing. I understand the language, but sometimes there's certain ways of doing things in the Unity development environment. So you just ask Google a question, and somebody out there has the answer for it.
Yeah, sure. So it's totally different world now. No wonder how come the technology is go so fast and so quickly, right? 咁咧啱啱即係講到啦，就話其實而家呢個世代咧，同我哋以前嗰個世代咧，真係好唔同啊！而家即係如果你想得到一啲知識，即係尤其是喺電腦方面咧，就我哋喺網上邊其實係好容易係攞到，亦都好容易係問到人啦。咁變咗即係話令到咧導致呢個科技咧，其實即係快好多啊，一日千里。咁變咗即係呢樣嘢亦都係成就咗好多唔同嘅事業啦。咁即係好多嘅嘢啦。So wow. That's totally a different world now. So, is there any other things you would like to share about your project?
Well, it's going slower than I'd like, but it's going, so I'm happy. And it's kind of funny. I started my career loving computers and programming, and then I went into management and retired, and now I do some business stuff as well. Running the charity. And I'm on the board of 2 other charities, so I do business stuff for them. But I'm back to programming again as well. The game. So I started there and I'm ending there as well. So I love it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. 咁啊 ，Ed 咧佢即係而家即係做咗幾廿年嘅同電腦有關相關嘅工作啦。咁跟住退咗休之後咧，咁佢頭先都有講話。佢而家都係兩個嘅一啲嘅慈善組織嘅人員啦，咁佢都喺入邊即係負責啦，咁但係即係估唔到，咁佢而家又因為即係佢要做呢個 project 啊，咁又再進入翻佢自己嘅嗰個電腦嘅工作，咁呢個都係即係非常之好嘅，因為我哋。You know, one thing I find out today, the world today, especially in computer market, I mean software market actually. Like remember those days, if we want to buy software, you got to maybe go to the store, or I don't think you have another option, but for a programmer, you can only find a job over in the software company, or you open your company yourself, right? But now, the game is different, right? It's totally different. Since especially the internet. And then the iPhone programmer can have their own software being published, right? They don't need any maybe the wholesale or retail or whatever, right? They just open an account and then upload their games or whatever the software. So it's pretty different now. I find out it's totally different because when I finished my university, I never think I will be a programmer. Seriously, never, because there were not many job opportunity over in Hong Kong. In the software field. So, I never think we'll go back to be a programmer. But until, the iPhone, the Android things, they changed the game.
You can do it from anywhere now.
Yeah, true. So it's totally different. 咁即係啱啱想講嘅就係話，即係而家嗰個年代咧，同我以前嗰個年代好唔同。以前我哋嗰個年代，如果你話你想做一個程式員，即係喺作為你嘅事業啊，尤其是喺香港啦，比較困難。 你即係因為嗰個工作都唔係太多，咁變咗其實好多人都係即係讀完電腦呢一行呢個專業咧，佢都唔會做翻電腦，因為唔係咁多工。咁但係而家係完全唔同晒，即係而家個需求係大咗好多咯。咁同埋個發展亦都大好多，因為即係你知 iPhone 啊、Android 啊呢啲，即係你自己可以成為一個程式開發員，開發完之後你就可以自己放上去啲平台售賣又好，俾人下載又好，即係你有好多嘅機會。Yeah, so it's pretty like we knew there is a big trend on like software development like back like 10 or 20 years ago, but we never thought like it will be like this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
Yeah, so everyone can be entrepreneur or like that. So for in your project, like I can see the game is the games is what you are doing now, but what is your next step or stage?
Okay. So the next stage is once I get these 2 prototypes to a point where I think they're good enough to show to some different organizations, then there's a couple different ones, three that I know of today. I want to approach them and say, this is what we're done. We think they'd be good for you as well, for what you're doing. They fit into what they're doing, their organizations, and see if they're interested in working with us, either taking it over, like buying it and helping them to finish developing it, or work with us to continue to develop and to develop more parts as well. Like this here game here you see on my screen right now, it's about physics. We can do the same thing with biology and chemistry and astronomy and all kinds of different fields of science and similar kinds of things. So there's lots of opportunity for more. So we want to partner with other companies who have a similar interest, and then hopefully work together and bring it to market.
I see. 咁即係啱啱問 Ed 啦，咁佢即係嚟緊下一步有啲咩諗法咧？咁樣，咁佢都講話，即係佢會可能佢會揾多啲唔同嘅組織去合作啦，唔同嘅，即係因為佢而家即係譬如喺呢啲軟件入邊嘅開發啦，咁佢睇下會唔會即係適合有其他唔同嘅組織可以大家去合作發展。因為都喺睇到佢即係尤其是喺第二個嗰個遊戲入邊，關於一啲物理學或者會唔會喺生物學或者其他嘅學習方面，即係有一啲發展。For the second game, right, it's more look like education.
Yes.
App, sorry.
Right, yeah. It is, and it's more designed for like a museum kind of setting. Where people go for education. But these days, a lot of museums have stuff online as well. So you can be educated online as well as going in person.
Right.
So this game you could do on a museum website, or you could do it at home on your phone when you go to visit that museum. Or I mean, go to visit the museum in person and do it there, or from home on your phone.
Right. 即係啱啱都講話，即係佢其實有好多嘅呢嘅博物館其實都已經係即係搞網上，尤其是而家喺呢個 Covid 嘅時間啦，即係好多嘢都係停晒啦，咁實體嘅嘢都咁變咗好多都可能轉晒上去網上面啦咁樣。咁同埋佢即係佢都可能即係好有心思喺教育嗰方面啦。Okay. Hey, like Ed, I know personally, I know you have some amazing personal experience about when I first heard of it. Wow, it is a miracle. Like you are still here with us, and you know sorry 阿 Ed 咧如果你而家見唔到，即係你見到佢真人，但係你見唔到佢成個乜嘢啦，其實全身咧其實佢係好高嘅。So you have 6 feet tall?
6'3".
6'3", OK， 佢6'3" 嘅，佢係好高嘅。但係我啱啱想講咩？當我識佢咧，佢同我講一件事咧，咁我覺得哇好神奇嘅，即係一個6'3" 嘅人，居然佢係即係喺佢生命當中發生過一啲即係叫做不幸啦咁。Can you tell us a little bit of your yeah
Sure.
sorry.
Right. So I some of the experiences that Jose was talking about are health problems that I've had. And I'm very thankful that I am still here, as Joseph said. So my health problem started in 1990s, which led up to me having a liver transplant in June of 2000. Oh. And this is a picture my wife took the day or the night of my transplant. So I have all these hoses and pipes in me, and the red line shows where they cut me open to take out my liver and put in a new liver. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Wow.
So there are 66 metal staples put in to put me back together again, to hold me back together, right?
Wow.
The black circles show some drains to drain fluid out of my stomach and different things, right? So that was in 2000. So that was a big one. And then in 2011, actually, I don't have a picture, but in 2008, I had a brain hemorrhage. So a little blood vessel in my brain burst. So the doctor said I was very fortunate to be alive from that. I should have died from that, but I didn't. And then in 2011, I had cancer. And this is my wife and I on our 25th anniversary in 2011. And I lost all my hair from the chemotherapy treatments that I was going through. And then in 2014, the lower picture is a second liver transplant. So I've had 2 liver transplants.
Second.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So the doctors think because of my cancer problems, they changed my drugs that caused me to have a second transplant.
I see.
And then there's been a few problems since, some blood issues and stuff. But those are the big things.
Wow.
But yeah, so now I'm just very thankful that the Lord's taking care of me and I'm still here.
Wow. 咁頭先即係啱啱阿 Ed 就即係講翻佢即係喺佢人生當中其實都即係大家睇到啦，即係嗰個相片係咩咧？咁原來咧佢係接受過一個嘅肝臟移植嘅手術嘅，咁當其時佢肝係有問題啦，咁即係睇到都即係差唔多劏開一半㗎啦，即係。咁跟住當其時係2000年啦，咁佢跟住2011年咧又再有另外一次嘅即係癌，即係喺個好似佢話cancer 癌病啦，咁同埋佢個頭入邊亦都係有試過有啲問題，咁即係有一個好嚴重嘅情況啦。咁亦都之後咧，亦都係再次第二次嘅肝臟移植。咁you know what? Like from your case, like a what? Like a robot. You know, when something wrong, you just change. Wow, pretty amazing 啊！即係啱啱同佢講笑咁講，即係好似啲機械人咁，有啲咩壞咧就攞去換咗佢。Okay. Wow. So, thank you so much, Ed, to have you and tell us your experience and share with your story, your project, and I will like give you all the best on your project. And I hope like we're looking forward to play your game, try your game, and visit your museum. Okay, thank you so much. 我好多謝阿 Ed 啊，即係今日同我哋傾下偈，同我哋分享下佢嘅故事同埋佢哋嘅經驗。Okay, 多謝 ，thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for having me, and I hope my story is encouraging to others, and and helpful to anyone who's interested in programming for a career.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.